Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Catalyst Energies. My name is Dee. Thank you for joining me. I'm so grateful that you're here. This is the Daily Medicine Transmission for Tuesday, March 16th, 2021. We are on the other side of the Ides of March. How was the settling of your debts yesterday coming into today? I wonder. It is a new day. It is Tuesday. It is snowing now where I am at. I'm looking at my window. There are huge snowflakes. It's March 16th and it's still snowing. I actually could smell it yesterday. It was beautiful, 60 degrees, but there was something very crisp about the air, and I was like, I bet you it's gonna snow. And here it is. It's definitely snowing. And of course, the Weather Channel certainly it confirmed my prediction, and so I'm not entirely surprised. But I could really tell that there was a big shift. So there's going to be a blanket of snow to bring the light to everything, to cover everything with this beautiful white, and kind of start over in some ways. That is what the settling of debts really represents and comes before, right? We settle all of the debts and we come out with a clean slate. And the end of Pisces is very much about the settling of debts and preparing for the movement into the next cycle. Because in fact, victory is not the end, it is only the beginning, because everything moves in an oscillation and a cycle, and for every victory we have, there is a new cycle that begins again. And we are coming so close to the spring equinox where that seed of intention will finally consolidate into a new creation and be ready to go through all the process of growth and development through this next cycle. So the astrological new year is upon us, and we are finishing out all of the debts, all of the karma from the past astrological year that's been played out and acted upon, and now we are coming to the end of the cycle. So there's some transits that we can look at today that I think are going to certainly highlight where we're going. The moon is now in Taurus, and the moon is exalted in Taurus. She likes to be in Taurus. She nestles into the soil, into the receptive state that Taurus represents. It is the medium for our growth. Hello, kitty. The medium for our growth, and is very similar to the Cancer energy in the sense that there is containment and there is stability and something to hold our emotions. But it does really allow us to sink very deep into that medium of growth, as opposed to Cancer, which is just the vessel that holds our emotional capacity and our personal power. The Taurus energy is much more about giving us, like I said, the medium for the growth of who we are. So the big transit that's happening today, let's just look right at it. Okay. All right, so here we are, the 16th of March. The moon now, like I said, is just coming into Taurus, and that means it was in a sextile to Mercury in Pisces. And this clear mountain stream that 1 degrees of Taurus represents, the pure, uncontaminated aspect of our being, in a sextile with Mercury in Pisces. We talked about this yesterday with the realm of the mind and the ideas coming into a position now where our imaginations are going to be much more on the surface, our communications much more visual, our spiritual connection very much engaged with the magician and the realm of our mind. So oh, kitty's coughing. Sorry there. Hey, buddy. Anyway, so that was a huge distraction. I have a cat here that has some health issues, and so I get very focused on what's going on with her when she does things like even cough. So with the moon in Taurus today, let me pull myself back here. The moon in Taurus, Mercury now in Pisces. the time has really come to take full advantage of all of the social opportunities to bargain, to trade. That is really the beginning of Pisces. So we have this interesting dynamic here with the sun in the end of Pisces. The harvest moon illumines the clear autumn sky. This is the light of fulfillment that blesses a work well done, but it's also a time of reaping what we have sown and cultivated. It's a very karmic moment, and the seed of the new cycle is already latent, right? It's already embodied in the seed. And that was with this new moon. And I really do want to get out, it's just, life, of course, get out the astrology for the upcoming month, because this lunar cycle, we are surrounded by the ocean of all experiences, all potentials, all, everything that Pisces represents, which is literally everything that we can engage with, because we are inseparable from the field of consciousness and experience that we are all part of. But the new moon really set us up for developing ourselves as this interdependent and self-sufficient consciousness within this collective unconscious, which is the ocean. So I want to address that. And so we're at the end of Pisces when it comes to the sun, when it comes to Venus. Actually, Venus is at the degree of the recent new moon. So this is going to come into a sense of very material in our relationships, this need to consciously accept our own limitations and to concentrate our energies on a very fulfilled life, right? We need to start, consolidating our energy, bringing it back in, being ready to set the seed for the next astrological new year, which is the spring equinox. And Venus is also making it very palpable, very real, very much about what we and who we value. And it's the duty of each of us to learn who we truly are and fulfill our dharma. So that's going to express itself very directly, I think, in our relationships, in our material reality that Venus represents. She draws to her what it is that she wants and needs and fulfills her senses and gives her a sense of harmony as well. So there's a lot of culmination here. There's a lot of cycles coming back around, but Mercury now is at the beginning of Pisces. So the realm of our mind and our ideas and our communication now gets to kind of catch up a little bit and engage in the process of commingling and interchange at this emotional, inspirational level after all of this time where the sun, which is how we identify ourselves and express ourselves, and Venus, what it is we value and who we value in our lives, what holds value to us, that's already gone through this stage. And so there is a catching up in terms of our mind that is there. But the big transit today is the sun in Pisces in a sextile to Pluto in Capricorn. Now, we talked about this yesterday because the moon was in a square. And so for as much as we were feeling, our potency and the desire to actualize ourselves and using our imagination to maybe regain a lost opportunity, that square to Pluto was very, very strong and provided a lot of tension. And it may, like I said yesterday, the moon in Aries, where it was probably not enough on its own to really overpower what Pluto is representing. So, but the sun at the end of Pisces, right? The harvest moon illuminates the autumn sky. It is now time for consummation. It is now time to express ourselves through what we have cultivated and sown. And in that process, a sextile, 60-degree angle with Pluto in Capricorn is supporting this process. What Pluto is taking away and destroying in the attempt to transform ourselves very powerfully, which is what Pluto represents, especially the end of Capricorn. We're talking about the matrix of reality here. Is they are in a relationship today the sun and Pluto that is supportive, but we have to engage in it somehow. We can't just sit back and allow it to unfold, because that's more of a trine, right? Where there's not a lot of participation necessary for there to be a harmonious connection or stable connection. This is stable, but it requires us to participate. And it really is going to be about reflecting back on that new moon and seeing what it is in our actual material life, in the relationships, in what we value, that we can consolidate and fulfill our dharma and come to know who we really are. And that, I think, coming to terms with that and going back to that new moon energy with where Venus is going to really going to support where this sextile is today, giving us a sense of what we can, what it is we are cultivating, and what we have sown and consummating it, right? That consummation is about a cycle ending. Just like I said with the beginning of this transmission, the cycle ending is about the beginning. And so there is a victory here, but it's not the end. It's the beginning of something new, which is, this continual awakening of humanity. But when all of these pathways that we had been dependent upon to get to the top of the mountain are being taken away, we get to see something fully. And maybe we have relied way too much on those pathways, and now that has consummated and come to a head, and we are expressing ourselves through that. Maybe we realized a while ago that was the case, and we changed our trajectory or considered the possibility that there are other ways, and started plotting a course elsewhere. And that is also part of this sextile today with where the sun is in Pisces, this consummation, the seed of the next cycle, and the karma of it. It's already there. It's just, like I said, consolidating and getting ready to fully express itself. So the other thing that's going to happen today is that the moon in Taurus is going to meet Uranus. Ooh, there's going to be some triggered emotions today, and it's going to really trigger our ability again to make do in the darkest of times by trusting the cycle of nature, that it always moves in a cycle, that the darkness is never forever, because that is not the nature of our universe. It is the nature of our universe to move in an oscillation, in a cycle between polar points. And there's going to be, like I said, triggered emotions. The moon in Taurus, at least the moon is happy in Taurus, but with Uranus there shaking things up as usual, it's going to trigger some emotions. So just be mindful of that and know that it's a transient experience. It's giving us something to work with. The trigger in our emotions is going to allow us to awaken and to see the bigger picture for how we can create and cultivate happiness and celebration within our reality in those dark moments, right? The fully decorated Christmas tree is the symbol of where Uranus is right now, that you can, even though it's dark and cold, and in this case snowing outside, the Christmas tree inside is something that the family gathers around, the group gathers around. We participate in decorating it, and it's a central point of joy and celebration during a time where the energy and the light, literally the light, is at its darkest. And so there'll be a trigger. There'll be a big emotional trigger here, but it's meant to awaken us to our ability to cultivate happiness in the darkness. And again, with Pluto involved and the sun at the end of Pisces, that's consummation point. There is a lot that could potentially trigger us, but it's also showing us everything that we have put our energy into thus far and what we're going to take with us into the next cycle. And again, with Venus, like I said, on that new moon point, and I'm going to talk a lot more about that. I know I was going to do it yesterday, and it just didn't happen because you know how life goes. So here I am. Let's get into the actual reading to show you that things are going to move swiftly. And we, again, we think that we know how to get out of the trap that we're in. And it's not to say that we don't know, because I think we are starting to realize more, right? And larger groups of people are starting to realize, and the settling of debts with the Ides of March is a real eye-opener for some people about what that means. But for those that are acting strictly out of their passion, right? They did not learn from the last new moon cycle how to overcome their passions, to teach from deep wisdom, and still just, are coming from that strictly that Leo energy, and did not come back around to integrate it into an Aquarian theme, right? Leo and Aquarius as opposites. If people were not able to do that, whoever they are, whoever we are, things are going to move swiftly now in terms of the mind and information and realizations. They're going to be quick and they're going to be swift. And if we are not energetically aligned, or if we are still trapped, which is we're going to see that. Let's just look at the reading, actually. I think that will help make a lot of sense out of what I'm saying here. Yes, thank you. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm not going to lie, I have a headache that's really distracting right now. Okay. Here we go, guys. So like I said, here's the passion coming into the moment. We have the Eight of Wands, which is swiftness, right? You can see that there is a swift movement and realization, and it is very, balanced. And we have the Eight of Keys, right? So we have these divine intervention type of moments, the all is lost moments, the fall from grace, that the 7, right? The 7 of Keys, the 16, 1 plus 6 is 7, right? The fall from grace, that moment where everything seems lost and we surrender to divine intervention. That is the 8, where the cycle comes back around. And the moon, the moon reversed the moon is already, here is our triggered energy, right? Here is moon meeting Uranus today. It's already a difficult archetypal journey to be on with the moon card, because it's always about going into the darkness, into the shadow. But with Uranus involved today, with the moon, it is not necessarily going to be accepted as much as maybe those who are much more comfortable with their shadow work and have been doing it for a long time. If you have doubled down, if you have not acknowledged that, oh, maybe I was wrong. Oh, maybe I've been acting inappropriately. Oh, maybe I have been participating in some shadowy stuff in order to feed more my ego rather than, rather than doing the work on myself to grow and to awaken as a spiritual being, then, rejection of reality, illusion, there's a lot of fear here, not prepared for the journey. So if we look at this horizontal cause and effect energy, if it's just the passion, right? If we have not overcome that in order to, and this was the last lunar cycle. So this is really about people in general and the aspects of ourselves that have not come out of that lunar cycle learning anything. Things are going to move quickly. Information's going to move quickly about a collective sense, the 8 of Wands, right? A fast and very swift realization that can kind of knock us on our ass, right? You can see it's, got that rainbow here and all of these, electric lightning type of energies emanating out from a central point of geometrical balance here. And you got the rainbow, of course. So there is going to be a swift movement of energy that is not just about knowledge, but understanding, right? Mercury in Sagittarius is about collective values and the truth and understanding and belief systems. So there is going to be a quick, swift realization coming that is not going to be accepted very well and is going to lead to a very I would say it's going to lead most likely to getting lost in that shadow rather than integrating it. All right, this is just that horizontal axis. What's important is going to be where we find ourselves energetically, and especially this guidance. As you'll notice, we have the same guidance here at the root energetically, Pueo and the Buddha prepares. So let's get right into it and we'll talk about each of these. All right, Leo, right? The passion, the lust, the animal desire within us to create. This is an important part of who we are. This is the fifth house. This is the sun, right? This is the Leo card, and the sun rules Leo and the fifth house. Mastery of our animal nature. This is vitality. This is energy. This is social risk is the fifth house. This is the passion that leads us to create. This is the Kundalini. Look at this. This is the Kundalini rising up, right? But if it has nowhere to go into a opened and clear third eye, for instance, right? Aquarius, Uranus and Aquarius. This is just an expression of animal nature without any overarching maturity or spiritual awakening to hold it, right? This is why people can really struggle with their mental health when they have a Kundalini activation without any guidance, without a teacher, without any practice really to hold that energy as it moves through. So coming into the moment, there is a lot of passion. And it's not to say that this is bad or inappropriate. It's just, it is what it is, right? But if it hasn't been tempered, I wouldn't even say tempered, if it hasn't been contained within a vessel that can hold this energy, well, that is where we may run into trouble. Now, the Eight of Wands, like I said, Mercury in Sagittarius, this is very swift energy. And it's sudden realization, very sudden. Then there's a progression. There's creativity. There are ideas, right? And if you have passion coming into this moment and you meet this here, I mean, there is a lot that can, Sagittarius is fire, Leo is fire. There is a lot of fire and movement, especially coming right out of an Aries moon as well. There is a lot of movement and fire and passion and creativity, and things are going to move quickly, right? And the spirit needs freedom to fly. And you can see that this is very much about the link between our material realm and the higher version of ourselves, right? That's really what the rainbow is. It's the link between the corporeal, the material aspect, and our spiritual aspect. And so Mercury is the realm of our mind and ideas and knowledge and information that moves. But Sagittarius is about the bigger truth. So there's bigger truth moving swiftly, okay, and suddenly. But it's very balanced, right? It's not chaotic. It's just swift. Right? And if you're not on board, or if you don't have a container to hold this could, this could lead to where this moon phase is going. So the Eight of Keys, so we have another 8 here, at the top of our awareness is the Master Artisan. So this is an individual that has done all of the work and is ready to offer their gifts, their talents, to teach the skills to other people. I mean, you can see this here. This individual is in this workshop. They have many people working. He's offering guidance to one of his technicians, and this is about making a contribution to many people and teaching, training, performing your skill for a group of people and building a reputation. So there is this sense, there's a sense here in the top of our awareness that we want to now offer. And many of us have been, right? Many of us have been fronting as a master artisan when we weren't ready yet. But this is still at the top of our awareness that we have done all of this work to get to a point where we can now teach and project and train people. This is, again, a cycle coming back around. Victory is not the end, it is the beginning. And so when we come to a point where we have consummated all of our energy and consummated all of our activity and our own training and growth, we get to a point now where we can then step into a role where we are teaching or training other people. So this is at the top of our awareness. It's really just about, have you done the work getting up to this point yet? And we're going to see some information about that. Now, where we're rooted energetically is a different story. Caught in the ruins. This is about the difficult situation that we're trapped in. Self-imposed limitations. So even with passion, even though there's a swiftness of information and sudden realizations, and even if our focus and attention is on the ability to step up and to train and to teach and to perform, because we have gone through and we are reaping what we have sown and cultivated. At the root of things here, we are still trapped in self-imposed limitations. So nobody's going to save us except ourselves. But this card and this archetype is at the heart of it is the fact that we have not realized this, that we're still trapped in an old system that has crumbled already. And all we have to do is look up and be like, oh, it's, we can just climb right out of here. So it takes courage and it takes strength and it takes a willingness to look in a direction that we've never looked before. And at the top of our awareness are all these individuals that are kind of fronting like they are the master artisans. And we see that and we want to embody that within ourselves as well. And what we are, like I said, what we are seeing or others that are teaching, training, performing, whatever. And it's not to say that this isn't important. But when we are energetically rooted in this place that we are keep restricting ourselves, then we are looking for somebody else to necessarily teach and perform and train us when we haven't even gotten out of the self-imposed limitations and the sabotage that we are participating in. So we have to change our behavior and our behavior and our belief in order to actually make this transition and to flip this cycle. Negative choices can stand for a really long time. And so that's why it takes consistent effort and concentration and intention, right? Every time you see a behavior or a thought process that is sabotaging you, that is limiting your ability to advocate for yourself or to take care of yourself, then you have to catch it where it is and nip it in the bud, and so that you can reprogram and rewire your own neural pathways. But right now, energetically, we still think that other people, the master artisan, right, is going to come along and do it for us. And really, we're rooted in this place where we're still trapped. We still feel trapped. We still don't feel like that we are the ones that save ourselves. And we absolutely are. But if we are energetically rooted in this place that somebody else is going to come along and be like, hey, here's the rope, come and get out, when we could easily do it ourselves. This is where that moon in reversed is really potent, and where the moon meeting Uranus today is going to trigger something to help us in this situation if we are still in some way feeling like somebody else is going to come and pull us out, because that's where our attention is on the master artisan. And we can be the master artisan. There's nothing wrong with having that focus, because we all are supposed to figure out who we are and what our dharma is, and part of that's part of becoming a master artisan as well. So we can teach other people and train other people to do that, right? Not to rely on other people necessarily to tell us who we are. We have to figure this out for ourselves. And this is part of this dynamic here, is that we still are caught in a trap that's really self-imposed and is a crumbling structure that we have to dig ourselves or climb out of our own. We have to climb out of it on our own. And like I said, if this is where we're going, all of these things combined here is that it's going to be a rough journey into the darkness, illusion, hysteria, fear, a rejection of reality, right? Like just constantly just not seeing things for what they really are and continuing to delude ourselves, right? There's some serious danger when we're here, because we can get lost in our shadow and not prepared for the journey. There are many people not prepared for the journey because they're still operating under their passion and they have not grounded it into anything, and they're still stuck, right? They're passionate, but there's passionate within the walls of their own prison, and things are going to move quickly. The ideas, communications, things are going to be swift, and if we are still trapped in our own self-imposed limitations, then this is going to be a very dark outcome. And it's just going to be harder to see the darkness for what it is, right? And to not get lost in our shadow. So there's some guidance here to help us along the way. First of all, when it comes to that master artisan, remember the point behind that is that you have to actually do the ascent, the hard work, the determination. Remember I talked about yesterday, the Lunar New Year is in Chinese astrology is this year is the metal ox, right? The Taurus, the bull, determination, patience, hard work. You don't get to a point of master artisan without actually doing the work. And there are many people that haven't done the work that are fronting like they are. And if we are still trapped, then it's not really a master, is it? Right? And so you can not only take yourself out of the prison, you have to actually do the work to get to the top of the mountain. It's not just, you don't just bypass it. You actually have to go up the mountain. And where Pluto is, it is taken away pretty much all of the pathways that were already there. So we have to literally blaze a new trail up to the mountain. And that takes even more hard work. That takes even more trust in ourselves. That takes more patience and determination. So if you want to be a master artisan, if you're in a position to teach and train people, and you have not gone through this process, well, again, that reversed moon is going to be a doozy, right? So we have to actually put the time and energy to get up the mountain, the determination. It's just about the work, right? There's no magic button. There's nobody coming to save us. We are the ones and we are the plan, right? Now, here's the cardinal. The polarities of your spiritual pursuits and physical pleasures are out of balance, right? So get back into equilibrium. So we keeping these things separate, right? That life is one thing and then spiritual pursuits are another thing. No, they are really meant to be the same thing. So we need to integrate them so we can find balance. We need harmony with these two aspects. You don't want to get so spiritual that you stop engaging with your life. And that's part of the bypassing as well, right? You get so caught up in the spiritual aspect, about things that you don't actually do any work on the ground to make the life here in physical form in harmony with your spiritual life. And that takes time and that takes work and that takes a considerable amount of integrating the shadow as well. You have to do it. And there's a certain amount of confidence that we have to instill in ourselves in order to bridge this gap here. And there's a responsibility. There's a big responsibility. The keys are the material aspects and there's responsibility. Remember yesterday, the king and the queen up top were reversed. I mean, a fall from position of authority, but that shows us where the real authority is, and it's inside of us, and it's our spiritual connection to source or to God and our gut, right? Our higher self that is really the authority. So if you keep these things separate and you're like, well, my material realm is different than my spiritual realm, and I keep those two separate, you're not going to get up the mountain. I guarantee you, you will not. You have got to bring these parts together and integrate them. In order to have the stamina, have the courage to go up that mountain and the determination to go up a mountain where there are no more pathways and you have to blaze a new trail. We are literally blazing new trails right now, and Pluto is making it impossible not to do that. Otherwise, we don't go up the mountain, and then you are, in fact, stuck. You really are stuck in your own prison. You have to do this. We have to do this ourselves, right? Now, this is the same messages that came through as yesterday. Pueo and the Buddha prepares, okay? Let's look at the Pueo again. Your ancestral spirit guides are offering you guidance now. Pay close attention about how to get out of your trap, right? This again, and the Buddha prepares. This is about going inward. This is about preparing and gathering your power. This is about learning what that intuitive voice really sounds like. You can only do this when you're quiet, when you're still, when you go within and you're not acting. Now, there's a lot of energy that wants to act. And so again, we have to go within. We have to quiet the mind. We have to let all the other distractions go away so that we can hear that internal voice of our higher selves. Because when the moon meets Uranus, again, that is a trigger. That is such a huge emotional trigger that is going to pull us into a place where can we make happiness out of darkness, or are we going to get pulled into the darkness? We're going to have to go in and really settle all of the noise and get prepared. And again, there is guidance there. That is what Pueo is all about. There are omens, synchronicities, signs that come through all kinds of interactions, through the animals, through a song that you hear, just through, just a seemingly random thought that comes out of nowhere. These are all ways that we're inspired and have connection to our inner voice, but it does, again, require that we are willing to go within and engage in this inner work in order to release ourselves from our inner prison caught in the ruins. Okay, it's a very strong message. This has come out twice now in the same exact positions in 2 days in a row. So it really sends the message home, to me at least, that this getting, again, more acquainted with our own gut, with our own higher self, with the voice of source and God, whatever that means to you, is essential. And there are a lot of people saying a lot of things, including me. But again, I'm not here to tell you what's going to happen, what's not going to happen, who to trust, who not to trust. I'm here to help facilitate activating people into their own mission, their dharma, and to learn how to listen to their own gut and their higher self. That's what I'm here to do. So I'm giving you the tools and the insight from my own guidance about how to do that. And this is a big part of it. Okay, this is a big part of it. So that's the transmission for today, my friends. It is March 16th, 2021. We're so close to the end of this last astrological year, coming into the new year. So if you're interested in how all of this is playing out for you in your personal astrological chart, you can go to catalystenergies.net and book a service through the website. You can sign up for the mailing list. It's right on the homepage, so you can get announcements about events and other things that are coming down the pipeline. I'm now on Subscribestar for $3 a month. You can support this work. There's going to be exclusive content for those subscribers coming soon that is more about weekly astrology and community kind of classes and gatherings where we can all learn from each other, especially about astrology and archetypal symbolism. And then Telegram, Facebook, of course, for social media. And man, it would be great if you could subscribe to this channel. Hit that like button if you're on BitChute or YouTube. It really helps spread the content of independent content creators like myself who are not monetized and who are not trying to be monetized. This is my offering. But if you want to subscribe, that allows me to cover the cost of things like my website and other business expenses in order to continue to provide this information, provide this guidance that I'm here to do. I know what my dharma is, so I can help facilitate what yours is and help facilitate the activation of that as well. So you can check that out on catalystenergies.net. Redream the World is on its way. It'll be, it's an online astro retreat. You can get all the information on my social media platforms. It's an online astro retreat. It's free. You just have to register. I am presenting on Sunday, the 21st, which is the role of the starseed in the age of Aquarius. And if you're interested in your starseed origins, you can also book a service through catalystenergies.net. And that is such a deeper layer to the readings in general and has been mind-blowing in terms of the work that I've been doing one-on-one with people, which is where the real power comes from. I want to be accessible to people, which is why I do this content online, but the one-on-one work is really where the magic happens. And so that's it for today, guys. Take care of yourselves and check in if you need anything. And I'll see you tomorrow for the Daily Medicine transmission. And I will see you very soon for the new moon lunar month report that is coming very soon. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.